Mazatlan, Juanito, and Acamal, Mexico. Uh, I recently ended 5 years of full-time travel uh, in a camper van, two different camper vans, and loved it. Loved it. It was the time of my life. And wherever it was, mostly in the country, and I love convenience stores, and I love visiting with people in convenience stores, and I'm kind of a student of convenience stores, having been a management consultant myself, and learning what makes the system healthy or not healthy, and why are some convenience stores riddled with gossip and infighting, and others not. Uh, and in the country, and I worked at a convenience store in Asheville, North Carolina. It was for a year, full time. Little, well, not actually a convenience store. It was a little kiosk where we sold cigarettes and gas, and I'd have as many as 800 transactions in a day. It was busy, busy, busy. So, I love convenience stores. And in the South, some of the convenience stores were so fun, and people were so great, and Southern, and charming and stuff. But Chicago, my hometown, the dominant player in Chicago is 7-Eleven, which I encountered nowhere else in the South until I crossed into Matamoros, Mexico. There were some. And here in the Riviera Maya, I've been 2 years in Mexico. There's lots of them. And 7-Eleven can be gorgeous, gorgeous stores, which they weren't in Chicago. They were the dominant player, but they weren't great stores. And their coffee service was a pot of coffee that had been sitting there for hours instead of all the fancy mechanical gadgets they have these days. And they were all Middle Eastern. They were all owned by Middle Eastern people, and I learned from a black guy who worked in one of them, you'll never make management at 7-Eleven unless you're Middle Eastern. And they didn't like customers. They didn't like customers, no. At best, they would ignore you and keep speaking their Middle Eastern language, and at worst, they'd be rude and insulting. So I'm in Chicago, and I went into this convenience store, and I also don't, my dog, my little Chihuahua, was so well behaved. I didn't like always having her on leash, but I learned in these stores, in these convenience stores, 7-Eleven, they're serious about it. But I dropped her leash to pay, to fish my wallet out. So I just dropped the leash. She'd never moved. She stood right next to me. I dropped the leash. And this big, swarthy Middle Eastern guy gave me some kind of shit about dropping the leash. And I've gotten, over the years, I would say more assertive in my response to people who give me shit. So what I did was I stuck my finger right in his nose and said, I want you to pay close attention to this because this is feedback you absolutely need to know. Got it? Yeah. You absolutely need to go fuck yourself. And he went all Middle Eastern on me. It was so exciting. It was amazing. He said, if you were not such a weak, sniveling little piece of nothingness, I would rip the spine right out of your body and snap it right in front of you before you died. This guy's amazing. He's a fucking poet. But my response was, oh yeah? Step outside, Jack. And as he was ripping off his apron and coming around the counter, I saw how big he was. I said to Pancho, I think I hear some traveling music. Let's get out of here, bud. And I was laughing hysterically before I got to the pumps. It was so much fun. So much. It was hysterical. It was a great moment in convenience store sports. For me, anyway.